On the news tonight, FCT Ministerial Tax Team on City Sanitation raids criminal hideouts in Jiwa and Dede communities. Abuja Environmental Protection Board takes legal action against defaulters of waste services bills. And FCT Federal Road Safety Corps supports creation of road safety club in schools to equip students with safety tips. Glad to have you join us on the news desk of NTA Channel 5 Abuja at 7. I am Tessie Omeri, and we begin with activities from the FCT administration. The FCT Ministerial Tax Team on City Sanitation has raided forests in Jiwa and Dede communities and arrested some criminals. Onoze Yakubu reports that the exercise is to rid the communities of criminal hideouts.
The FCT Ministerial Tax Team on City Sanitation has embarked on intensive raid of all the forests around Jiwa, Dede and environs and arrested more than 15 suspects. Sarkin Jiwa Alhaji Idris Musa, who endorsed the raid, also confirmed the allegations that the forest harbor criminal elements who disturb the peace of the communities.
You cannot follow with us that road now. If you are passing there, they will block places. They kill, they fight themselves and kill people. So enough is enough.
The Senior Special Assistant on Monitoring, Inspection and Enforcement to the FCT Minister, Iharu Atta, says the operation is sequel to the public outcry against activities of scavengers, popularly known as Babombola, who have continued to pose threats to people's lives.
The crime associated with Babambola is so massive that the city cannot fold its hands and watch. Babambolas are going out with this. You'll be asking the question, what has this got to do with refuse collection? And they go almost, many of them go out with such terrible knives. And you'll be asking, what does refuse collection and waste recycling have to do with such?
While disclosing that the operation will be extended to other places that serve as criminal hideouts, he reiterated that the administration has no plan to stop legitimate business of waste collection and recycling. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
And the Abuja Environmental Protection Board, AEPB, says legal action will be taken on defaulting residents and citizens who have enjoyed waste or refuse disposal services from the board and have refused to pay for the services rendered to them. This warning was carried out when the defaulters were charged to mobile courts that have been established in the various districts in the Federal Capital Territory for the sole purpose of compelling the defaulters to pay off. Rosemary Bilal has details.
The exercise, which commenced in the last week of January 2022, is aimed at prosecuting those who are defaulting in the payment of their bills for waste collection services rendered to them. In the same vein, the organization is enforcing the use of requisite waste bins in the FCT, which will ensure proper collection of waste, thereby keeping the environment of the FCT clean and hygienic. Abuja Environmental Protection Board added that it is no longer acceptable to see few waste bins servicing buildings with several blocks of flats and numerous occupants, thereby encouraging the spilling of refuse on the ground. The prosecutor therefore appealed to residents to promptly pay their bills to enable the board to do its job effectively and efficiently.
The response rate is not too encouraging. Even though this mechanism now, most residents find it difficult to come willingly to make payment.
One of the problems we are having is that it's a mix-up of sharing in the bill. Like we are 3 in a block. Now I am in flat, or what they call it, flat 3. They were bringing bills of flat 1 to me.
It clearly states that every occupant in the FCT has a duty to pay waste management bill yearly. Some of those bills may be issued twice in a year. Rosemary Mortelen Bilal, NTA News.
Away from environmental matters to electoral issues, reactions have continued to trail the extension of council chairman's tenure as some stakeholders appeal for clear interpretation for understanding of the common FCT resident. Aisha Uba Ali has details.
Since the announcement of the 10-year extension after a court judgment, which was equally captured in the recent electoral law signed by Mr. President, reactions from different quarters have continued to trail. This has, however, caused protests in some parts of the FCT, which the Vice Chairman Abuja Municipal Area Council, Lawrence Onochukwu, says is uncalled for, but rather appealed for a proper interpretation, which is imperative at all levels.
So I am here because the law of the land has asked me to serve the people for another 1 year, which is why we are here to do. So I want to apply the good people of Abuja Municipal Area Council. We are not here to change any party. As a member of APC, I am an unrepentant APC member. Anything that gave interest to my party, I will stand by it 100%.
For now, the council chairman will still maintain their positions and hand over to elected executives next year May, all things being equal. In Abuja, Aisha Oba Ali, NTA News.
Sannunku jama'a, barkanku da yau. Magana ce akan kiraye-kirayen waya. Shin ba abun mamaki bane a ce ba za ku iya kiran abokanku, iyalanku ko abokan ciniki ba? Kawai ba ku haɗa lambar zaman ɗan ƙasanku NIN da lambar wayar ku ba? Ha ba. Ai haka bata dace ga iyalanku ko ka abokin cinikinku ba. Idan baka da NIN, ku je kowane shagon Airtel don su sake yi muku rajistan layin ku, sai a sake dawo da ku ta amfani da wayar ku. Kuma za ku iya danna *121# ko ku amfani da Airtel app ko ku ziyarci www.airtel.com.ng/nin don haɗa lambar ku. Da zaran ka sake rajistan layinka, Airtel za ta baka garaɓasan huce haushi naira 22,000 kenan sama da awa guda na magana, kuma a baka data ka yi komin da ka ga dama ka kowace lokaci a kowace rana. Kada ka zama bagidaje fa.
Airtel, the smartphone network. Looking fresh for your date? Get even fresher with Close Up. New Close Up Triple Fresh formula. It cleans deeply, fights 99% of bacteria, and cools intensely, keeping you protected and fresh. Protected and fresh. Protected and fresh.
Let's take a picture.
Protected and fresh. Still fresh, still protected.
Feeling cool and protected.
All day confidence to get close.
Oh yeah, take it close. Sure to close.
New Close Up Triple Fresh formula.
Welcome back. Road safety clubs in schools equip children with safety tips that will help them to avoid road crashes. FCT Sector Commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, Samuel Oga disclosed this when he received some Road Safety Club students in the command.
Road Safety Club falls under the 4 tiers of the FROSC operating system, namely Regular Marshal, Special Marshal, and the Road Safety Clubs, which consist of the NYC members, primary and secondary schools, students and pupils. These young Road Safety Club members were taken round the command, especially the licensing office, where road users are issued license.
Don't disobey the laws and regulations, to stop beating the traffic, to always obey the traffic.
The FCT Sector Commander, FROSC, Samuel Oga urged the children to always be good ambassadors of road safety.
The Road Safety Club has assisted a lot to groom the young ones to have that level of understanding on road safety issues.
There were various side attractions to spice up the day, and most captivating was 3-year-old Ikesh and Elizabeth, who thrilled guests.
I'm the apple of the eye of my own.
High point of the event was the cutting of the 2022 Children's Day cake. In Abuja, Odiri, Ogboru, Arutere, NTA News.
And still talking safety on the highway, despite the construction of flyovers and pedestrian bridges in the nation's capital, it has been observed that some persons still persist in crossing major roads, thereby endangering their lives. In this special report from Apangi, takes a look at disaster prevention and emergency management.
Overspeeding, reckless overtaking, driving under the influence, and wrong parking by motorists are some risks that can lead to avoidable deaths, like the ones that reportedly claimed the life of a student rushing to board a taxi dangerously parked by a junction leading into Kuchigoro.
The Federal Road Safety Corps, in line with the mandate that it has from the beginning, has adopted what we call the Catch Them Young. And that is one of the reasons why we collaborated today with NEMA to ensure that there is sensitization of the youth at the grassroots. So the reason why we do that, number one, is to ensure that that consciousness that safety is important on the highway is inculcated in the minds of these young ones. Apart from even the fact that they need to have that knowledge, they must also realize the consequence of some actions that they take.
Some accidents are just waiting to happen, yet preventable measures must remain a conscious effort by all, especially when it involves children.
We are talking about road safety, how to be safe while on the road, while coming to the school, and also while going.
Educationists agree that regular sensitization and awareness enhances chances at saving lives and have gone a step further to create special clubs in the school academic curriculum as a purpose-built vehicle to sharpen minds of youngsters on road safety, disaster management, and first aid. In Abuja, from Apanyi, NTA News.
And there is a popular saying that anyone who opens the door for school has closed that of a prison. To this end, Women Organization of Nigeria, that is the Catholic Women, Our Lady Queen of Nigeria Catholic Pro Cathedral, joined stakeholders in the education with the groundbreaking of St. Mary Day Vocational School in Apple, as Mariam George Jutabo was there.
The proposed St. Mary Vocational Secondary School, APO, is estimated at 560,410,000 naira only as construction cost. It is to be executed in phases based on availability of funds. Representative of the Catholic Archbishop of Abuja, Monsignor Kenneth Enang, lauded the initiative of the CWO, saying that the school will be to the betterment of both the church and the society.
So these are people, we are training the people now to bring stability to this country in this type of project. Because if we have a middle group that is carrying the nation, the middle group carries the nation everywhere.
President, Catholic Women Organization of Nigeria, Our Lady Queen of Nigeria Catholic Pro Cathedral, Garki, Victoria Mary Pila says, with the completion of the project, the school will give the students skill-based careers that will make them productive members of the society.
And we made up our mind that we're going to establish this school and we'll make sure that the school fees will be affordable to give room for those that cannot afford the very expensive schools to be able to at least acquire knowledge and acquire skills that will make them live a livelihood that is good for them.
Even if you're not educated, but you have that skill, you can go far. You will not wait for anybody to put food on your table. You have something that will put food on your table. You will not have the God to say government did this or did that, because you have been taught.
Everybody cannot be a graduate, especially the type of graduates we have these days. But these are people who will have skills.
Vocational school, APO, will consist of 18 classrooms, 7 workshop and laboratories, 1 library, among others. Mariam George Jutabo, NTA News.
And a bit from the world of sports, Super Eagles depart Nigeria for United States of America yesterday for a friendly match with Mexico and Ecuador. As Nigeria Ministry of Sports reminds athletes not to tarnish the image of the nation during the 2022 Commonwealth Games. Let's join Wayne Dogo for details.
The federal government has directed all relevant authorities to ensure that necessary tests are carried out on all athletes before the take-off of contingents to the Commonwealth Games holding in Birmingham, UK in July 2022. The Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, gave this directive during a meeting held with stakeholders of the 2022 Commonwealth Games. According to him, Nigeria will not hesitate to drop any athletes who attempt to tarnish the image of the country again. And in basketball, following Nigeria's decision to withdraw from international events for 2 years, the World Basketball Governing Body, FIBA, has threatened punishment. This was mentioned in a letter from Jamie Lamboy, FIBA's head of legal, addressed to Factional Basketball Federation President Musa Amadou Kida. The withdrawal, he said, would help the country revitalize basketball from the ground up and put an end to the basketball crisis. Also on soccer, Super Eagles on Tuesday evening depart Nigeria for the United States of America ahead of this weekend's glamorous friendly game against Mexico and will confront Ecuador 4 days later. The team's technical crew had listed 8 home-based players for the encounter, with another 22 foreign-based players to be led by the captain, Ahmed Musa. Meanwhile, the newly appointed Super Eagles coach, Jose Pizarro, will be unveiled after the 2 international friendly matches in the United States of America. Wayne Dogo, NTA News.
And that's the English version of the news. Up next is translation in other languages. Do have a beautiful evening. Good night.
Wize ko kwa wai wona na iwo abada pepepe ishanda jezuma one wa gobagnayi na bage aje ayikin ne shi nda aweshi nun ababa shin sapa ntna awi bada nun aza anukoi oneze yakubu waganga gbedogun nun minister be fi na bage kwa shin tutun nsapa yin baye kulo jiwa kuchi abanu aza anukoi bufi labalo ba shin abo nwu tokotoko yin bayin ku awi nwa ndugun awoche atnia bato zejibon bakulo jiba nun ayikoge yin abanu azanu ko ye bufila balo njesin sapa ababajia danu okin zinda bagage bala balo nu azopu lawu ntukotunu azabo nu ala abakubaya nje cheje bayin tayelo nge bagba abayita tuntun nu gwamnati nkushimbayun Rosemary Bila wale shiba wobe na bedai wagenge eda de nu wadabokun nu azai nu akuba nwa mbata elege bagba ataye nkoyun ajinde nu nabage bagba ata nu mbacheshi gwamnati ntigina gbaiza bedai wachige ye ache ogunwanu koesunaba nkokun gbedogun nu ayepe zanba azaizanya nu kolo baiga abi awekanya shi baba jin apma nzokolukoi nwu nu bakunpo nko nabage to mato kwache eza aboya yun ayeku awega gaba be naye nkwen odiri autore nwale sheba wobe na bedai wagenge gabie sepanya na yo Samuel Oga Ochi owone da deye nsai nwe go gbedogun abienya nche nu owo atunjiba wen ku gaba nge sanu nzabitu nzokoluko wa wi gbetu zokoluko ya abo baba wole lainu saisu
Masu kallon mu barkamu da mu ci ga fasarar takaitattun labarai mai karantawa Isiyaku Buhari Suleja. Kwamitin minista na yaƙi da tsaftace birnin sun shiga waɗansu dajuka na Juwa da kuma daidai sun kuma kama waɗansu miyagun mutane. Wakilinmu Onoze Yakubu ya ruwaito mana cewa waɗanda aka kama sama da 15. A jawabin sarkin Juwa ya bayyana cewa miyagun mutanen da suke ɓoye a wajen suna damun al'ummarsa. Shugaban kwamitin Ikaru Atta ya bayyana cewa za su ci gaba da gudanar da aikinsu don ganin an samu sauƙin miyagun mutane a babban birnin. Hukumar kulawa da tsabtace muhalli na Abuja ta ce za ta ɗauki matakin shari'a ga waɗanda hukumar ta yi masu aikin kwashe shara ba su biya ba. Wakiliyarmu Rosemary Murtala Bilal ta ruwaito mana cewa hukumar ta yi wannan gargaɗi ne a lokacin da ta shiga da waɗansu wanda ba sa biya ƙara a kotun tafi da gidanka wanda aka kirkira a unguwanni da manufan waɗanda ba sa bayar da haɗin kai wajen biyan. Hukumar kiyaye haɗura na sashen babban birnin tarayya ta bayyana cewa ƙungiyar ɗalibai na hukumar kiyaye haɗura da ke makarantu zai taimaka masu wajen kiyaye samun haɗura. Wakilinmu Audrey Ogboro Arutare ta ruwaito mana cewa shugaban hukumar na babban birnin tarayya Samuel Oga Ochi shi ya bayyana haka a lokacin da ya amshi waɗansu ƙungiyoyin ɗalibai na hukumar a ofishinsa, wanda ziyarar yana daga cikin bikin ranar yara na shekara 2022. Ya kuma shawarci ɗaliban da su kasance jakadu na ƙwarai na hukumar. Jama'a, ƙarshen fasalar takaitattun labaran kenan, mu kwana lafiya.
ọzọ. Ọ bụ Chisom Soni Nwokafọ na ya na nke abalị a. Ndị otu ọrụ ntinye na-ewu maka idowe obodo ọcha bụ nke onye ọchị na-elekọta ọchịchị obodo a bụ FCT hiwere banyere n'ime ọhịa ndị nọ n'obodo Jiwa na Dede ma nwụchie ụfọdụ ndị omekome. Ọnụụzọ Yakubu bubatara anya akụkọ na njem ọrụ a bụ iji kpochapụ mpụ na ebe idobe isi nye ndị omekome, dịka onye isi ndị otu ọrụ ntinye n'iwu a Ịghara Ata siri kwuo na ha banyere n'ọrụ n'ihi akwa ndị bi n'obodo ndị a na-ebe maka mkpamkpa ndị na-atụtụ ihe ndị ruru ya kpọrọ Babambola na-akpa. Akụkọ a kọwara na onye Sarkin Jiwa Alhaji Idris Musa kwadoro njem ọrụ a n'obodo ya. Ụlọọrụ obodo a na-ahụ maka ikpopụ ihe ndị ruru unyi na nlekọta ogbe a kpọrọ AEPB ekwuola na iwu ga-ejide onye ọbụla bi n'obodo a ma na-anata ọrụ nke ụlọọrụ a ma gbaa isi akwara ịkwụ ụgwọ ndị ha kwesịrị ịkwụ n'ụlọọrụ a. Rosemary Motala Bilal webatara anya akụkọ na enyere ịdọ aka na ntị ya dịka ụlọọrụ a kpụpụrụ ndị dara iwu ịkwụ ụgwọ n'ụlọ ikpe mbugharị nke ehiwere na ụfọdụ ebe n'obodo a, bụ nke ebumnobi ya bụ iji manye ụfọdụ ndị a ji ụgwọ ndị ịkwụ ụgwọ ma mee ka ụlọọrụ a na-arụ ọrụ ha n'ụzọ dị mfe. Otu ụmụakwụkwọ na-ahụ maka ime njem okporo ụzọ nwere nchekwa enwere n'ụlọ akwụkwọ dị iche iche ga-enyere ụmụaka aka inwe amamihe ga-eme ka ha mara nke a na-akọ n'okporo ụzọ, dịka onye ọrụ anyị Ọdịrị Ụgbọrọra rutere siri kwuo n'akụkọ a na ọ bụ onye isi ụlọ ọrụ ala anyị na-ahụ maka njem okporo ụzọ nwere nchekwa ngalaba nke obodo abụ FCT Samuel Oga Ochi mere ka nke a pụta ìhè n'oge ọ nabatara ụmụakwụkwọ ndị n'otu a n'ụlọ ọrụ ya, ebe o ji ohere a dugharịa ụmụakwụkwọ ndị a na ngalaba dị iche iche ha nwere n'ụlọ ọrụ ya. Ebe ihe ndị gbapụtara ihe mere bụ igbu achịcha iji echeta ụbọchị ụmụaka. Ka ịbụ ọnụchi ndewo.
Iléeṣẹ́ amóhùnmáwòrán ìkànnì karùn-ún ti ìlú Àbújá ló ń dé sí etí ìgbọ́yín. Bọ́lájí Mátì ni oníròyìn. Àjọ tó ń gbé ìfọ̀bà l'Àbújá láti fọ ìlú Àbújá mọ́ ti ṣiṣẹ́ dé àwọn inú igbó tó ń bẹ ní agbègbè Jìwà àti Déédéé tí ọwọ́ sì bá àwọn ọ̀daràn tó lé ní 15. Alákòjọpọ̀ ìròyìn Olótù Yakubu ròyìn wípé ìgbésẹ̀ ọ̀hún wáyé látàrí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ búburú tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní agbègbè Déédéé lọ́sẹ̀ tó kọjá, àti wípé ọba ìlú Jìwà fọwọ́ sí ìgbésẹ̀ ọ̀hún torí pé àwọn ará ìlú sọ wípé àwọn inú igbó ọ̀hún ni àwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ẹbí náà ń gbé tí wọ́n sì ń yọ wọ́n lẹ́nu. Ìkàró Àtá tó ṣíwájú ètò ọ̀hún bákan náà sọ ọ̀pọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ lórí àwọn tó ń ṣa ilẹ̀ kiri tí wọ́n mọ̀ sí Babambola. Ó tẹ̀síwájú wípé ìgbésẹ̀ ọ̀hún yóò máa tẹ̀síwájú ní àwọn agbègbè mìíràn. Àjọ tó ń rí sí ètò ààbò àyíká ìlú Àbújá sọ wípé òun yóò gbé ìgbésẹ̀ ní ìlànà ti òfin lórí àwọn tó kọ̀ láti san owó iṣẹ́ tí iléeṣẹ́ ọ̀hún ṣe fún wọn. Alákòjọpọ̀ ìròyìn Rosemary Bilal ròyìn wípé ìkìlọ̀ ọ̀hún wáyé lásìkò tí àwọn tó kọ̀ láti san owó ọ̀hún fojú ba ilé ẹjọ́ tí wọ́n fà kalẹ̀ ní àwọn agbègbè kọ̀ọ̀kan l'Àbújá láti rí i wípé wọ́n san gbogbo gbèsè tí wọ́n jẹ. Àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó ń ṣe ẹgbẹ́ ètò ààbò lójú pópó ní ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gbogbo gba ẹ̀kọ́ lórí ààbò tí yóò ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ láti yẹra fún àwọn jàǹbá ojú pópó. Alákòjọpọ̀ ìròyìn òdì àròtẹ̀rẹ̀ ìròyìn wípé apàṣẹwàá àjọ ọ̀hún fún ẹ̀ka ti ìlú Àbújá Samuel Ogaochi bí ó ti mú àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ọ̀hún yíká ọgbà iléeṣẹ́ rọ̀ wọ́n wípé kí wọ́n jẹ́ aṣojú òkùnkùn fún ètò ààbò. Wọ́n gé àkàrà òyìnbó fún ayẹyẹ ọjọ́ àwọn ògo wẹrẹ ti ọdún yìí. Kì í dùn púpọ̀ ṣéun ni ọbẹ̀ ògè títí ìwòye ọ̀la Ojúmọ́ Ire ni yóò mọ̀ wá.
This Thursday's edition of Good Morning Abuja promises to be a must-watch as we bring to your viewing pleasure a conversation on personal development with Rita Bassi, a personal development coach.
You carry my matter for your head.